Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the movie Hangout, and let's talk about the King of the Hill reboot. I can't believe, gosh, it's been like literally 13 years. The last episode of King of the Hill aired way back in 2010. It doesn't seem like it's that long ago, but really 13 years ago. Unbelievable. So I'm going to get into when this reboot is going to happen, what's going on. Before I do, go on over, click subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, and like this video. I want to hear your opinion is on the return of Hank Hill. Okay, so if you're like me growing up in the 90s, you probably were a huge King of the Hill fan. I have to say, the episodes still hold up today, even better than when they originally came out. I was recently watching on Hulu some of the episodes from like 15 years ago, and they pertain so much to just life in general that I think another 10, 20 years from now, the show is going to age like fine wine, right? It's not going to be outdated in any way. The characters are fantastic. Hank, Bill, Dale, Boomhauer, Peggy. I mean, they're just amazing, right? They're fantastic. So it was announced that King of the Hill revival ordered by Hulu. Mike Judge, Greg Daniels, and the original cast set to return. Now, the one person that's not going to be returning, obviously, is Brittany Murphy, who played, she was the voice of Luann. She passed away, unfortunately. But everybody else should be returning. And especially if you got Mike Judge back, he's the voice of Boomhauer. He's the voice of Hank Hill. He's the creator. He's the brain behind the whole thing. So if he's back, it's going to be fantastic. Hulu is laying out the welcome mat for the Hill family. The streamer is reviving King of the Hill from 20th television animation with co-creators Mike Judge and Greg Daniels set to return, as well as the beloved former cast. Judge will reprise his role as Hank Hill, while Kathy Najimy, I don't know how to pronounce that, will be back as his wife Peggy. Stephen Root as Bill, Pamela Alden as Bobby Hill, Johnny Hardwick as Dale, and Lauren Tom as Min. The reboot has been in the works since the 2017 San Francisco Sketch Fest, where Judge and Daniels reconnected with the cast and celebrated the 20th anniversary of the old Fox animated show. It says here that Saladin Patterson will join the production as executive producer and showrunner. Michael Rottenberg and Howard Klein and Bandera Entertainment, Dustin Davis will serve as executive producers. It says we are all so excited to welcome back Hank, Peggy, and Bobby, and to see what they have to say about the world we live in and continue the conversations we began years ago. This show has all the perfect ingredients to meet this moment in animation at Hulu, and we're so thankful to be having those conversations along this talented group. Now, the one thing I'm kind of worried about right there is we're going to be having these conversations, what these characters have to say about the world we live in. I just really hope that it's not going to be woke. If they make King of the Hill woke, I'm going to be just livid. I'm going to go ballistic, because this is such a great non-woke show. It's actually kind of libertarian in a lot of ways. It's very much against being controlled physically, like being compelled to say things that you don't think are true. So I would be really disappointed if Mike Judge allowed this show to go down that route, because it would cease to be special anymore. It would just end up being like every other crappy show on TV, if it ends up being that way, saying the same things over and over again. So I really hope that does not happen. But anyway, it says the Emmy-winning series ran for 13 seasons on Fox from 1997 to 2010. And I just really hope that the spirit of the show is intact. I really do. If they start being weird, if they start having the characters behave in a way that is just not characteristic of who they are, if Hank starts doing things and saying things that are not what we expect from the character, I don't know. It will definitely ruin my image of the show in some ways. You have to keep things I know people want to change everything, but just because something is old doesn't mean it's bad. Just because something is new doesn't mean it's good. There's a lot of new ideas that are really bad. There's a lot of old ideas that are really good, and vice versa. You got to keep what works. King of the Hill was a bright, shining spot in animation in the late 90s and early 2000s. And it could be even brighter if they stick to the formula that worked. They stick to the humor that's like a little bit edgy. Not everybody's going to like it, but they just got to stick with it and keep it. And they will keep their audience, and they will even grow their audience, because there's nothing like it on TV right now. We are swimming in a sea of just political correctness, wokeness, and things that are just lame. I mean, let's face it. This era that we're in right now is not going to age well. 20 years from now, 10 years from now, the stuff that's going on right now, we're going to look back and go, that was horrible. I'm just going to click through that. It's not going to age like how the original King of the Hill has aged. I mean, if you want to see how a show has gone downhill, just look at how The Simpsons are now. Compare The Simpsons to how they were 20 years ago, or maybe like in the mid-90s, even the beginning of the 90s. It's just totally different, and not in a good way. So hopefully they keep King of the Hill as it was, with what works. And then it'd be really funny if Hank had a very Hank Hillish commentary of what's going on right now. But anyway, let me know what you think. Do you think this reboot of King of the Hill is going to be fantastic? It's going to keep the essence and the spirit of the original? Or do you think they're going to mess it up like they've messed up all the other shows and reboots and revivals that we've seen? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you want to get future rants, reviews, original content, click subscribe. Later.